Greetings, friends, and welcome back to the Burgers and Fries podcast, your Bob's Burgers companion podcast. With you again is Brian and Ryan, and we have one very special episode for Ryan today.
Well, I mean, it's special to a lot of people because it's another episode of our podcast.
Well, yeah, sure.
But it's a Teddy heavy episode, and we all know my opinions regarding our favorite patron of
our favorite uncle,
our favorite our favorite patron of.
Call him TJ.
No, I will not call him TJ. But yeah, it's a Teddy heavy episode. It's Teddy centric. Clearly, you would know that if you saw the title. It would say Uncle Teddy, which is pretty awesome to get a Teddy centric episode. I mean, we've had a couple where he's been in the main scene.
It's been a while since we've had him, with more than a few lines here and there, and so to have this entire episode, well, half of the episode dedicated to pretty much Teddy, yeah.
It's his first A story dedicated solely on him.
Yes, which is very exciting for you.
Yeah, I mean it's exciting for me because it is.
He's your favorite character.
Yeah, he's the one I enjoy the most. I mean, he's had some prominent roles in other episodes like the Deepening, and and the Christmas one we had. He was in the B story where he was
trapped in the refrigerator. Yeah, it was a good one.
But so this is just it's a nice episode where it's Teddy. It's gonna be pretty Teddy heavy. I'm very happy about that.
Right.
It's very guest voice heavy when you get down to it, because of all the different kind of things that happen in the episode. Mm-hmm. So we'll get to that when we get into our episode review. Most prominently, it is the return of Keegan-Michael Key.
Yes. Who's
now doing a different character, and we'll get to that.
His third different character, is that?
Up to this point, I think it's his.
Or is it only his second?
It's a good question. I did not pull that up. I think up to this point.
Because he did the football player in this one, and I thought there was another guy, but I can't.
No, wasn't this might be Keegan-Michael Key's first appearance because wasn't.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm thinking of Jordan Peele. I'm confusing the both of them.
So this is his first appearance of many appearances.
Sure.
And we have at least. I think we have 3 in the season. Maybe only 2, but I know we have another one coming up after this. But he's the most prominent guest voice, but that doesn't mean that the other ones weren't in the episode and did a good job. So we'll get to that in a second. Mm-hmm. But first, like we said, season 4, episode 14, Uncle Teddy.
What year was this one now?
We're in 2014. This is March 23rd, 2014. So episode 14 in 2014. Directed by Don McKinnon, written by Dan Fibel, Rich Rinaldi, and I'll give you the synopsis. When Bob and Linda leave town for a romantic getaway at a burger convention, they ask Teddy to babysit Tina, Gina, and Louise. While the rents are away, Teddy is eager to earn the coveted title of Uncle Teddy, and he does so by putting Tina's crush in his rightful place. Okay, I'm starting that again. That sounds like I wrote it, because you know how at the end of it says, hijinks ensue. It sounds like I wrote that.
Funny things happen in this comedy show.
I mean, that's the synopsis everywhere. Mm-hmm. Okay, fine, whatever. All right, I'm just gonna keep what it was. So Teddy's eager to earn the coveted title of Uncle Teddy, and does so by putting Tina's crush in his rightful place after discovering that he was just using her for free burgers. Hijinks ensue, and yes, it says gasp.
Nerve.
It does say gasp. I didn't say it. I actually did make the noise.
Free
burgers. Hijinks ensue. I don't think the hijinks ensue quite like they think it does, but we'll have to see when we watch the episode.
Yeah, I don't know what hijinks they're talking about.
Yeah, we'll see when we get to the episode, but we're gonna go ahead and pause.
Yep.
We're gonna go ahead and watch the episode. I'm gonna love this episode because there's Teddy in it, but who knows? Maybe I could be wrong. We're gonna come back and review our favorite uncle, who's not really our uncle, our weekend guardian, Uncle Teddy.
Belcher resident.
Teddy, it's Bob. Wait, I called your cell phone. Why'd you say Belcher residence?
Just to be respectful. How's the conference going?
It's complicated. How's it going over there?
It's complicated.
What? Teddy, I can say it's complicated. You can't say it's complicated. You're watching my kids.
Sorry, Bob.
So is it complicated, Teddy?
No, it's great. You want to talk to the kids?
Not really.
You sure?
Yeah.
I can put them on.
Yeah, go. Yeah, all right.
Okay. Louise is asleep. Jean's asleep. And Tina's... sleep. Tina's asleep, Bobby.
All right, well, let her sleep. We'll talk to them in the morning.
All right, well, I'll happily put on Tina if you want to talk to her right now, Bobby.
No, it's all right. Let her
I
sleep.
will wake her up with a bucket of water and a cowbell if that's going to make you happy, Bobby. You want to talk to your daughter? You got it.
Teddy, it's okay. Stop. I'm hanging up now.
Yeah.
Go to bed.
Okay. Oh, this is bad. This is terrible. Ah! Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Hey, you woke us up. What gives, Teddy? We need our sleep. We're so little.
And we're back. That was the Uncle Teddy episode.
It was Uncle Teddy.
Was it everything you hoped it could be?
Of course, I love Uncle Teddy. This is a great episode. It may not be super, because we break down our numbers weird. It may not be as high as I expect it to be, but I enjoy a lot of this episode.
There's a lot going on in this episode, and I didn't realize that, there were that many funny parts, that there were that many components to this episode. It really kind of built a little slow, and then it really had a solid middle and a solid end, and I really enjoyed the episode, which, the beginning always takes a little longer to kind of get going, so you understand, so they, build a story, build a world around the viewer. So, it's not to say that it's a bad episode in any way, because that happened.
So I want to start out with the B story. I want to go right into Bob and Linda on their vacation.
Okay.
Because I think it's very relatable in this day and age when people are making more friends online than they are in person, to kind of have that moment where you're like, I want to go to this thing and meet these people that I've been talking to for a while. We've had that experience with the people on the Discord for Brewers.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those...
That's true.
Like, we you get into this room of people, and that's, conventions. That's why conventions are so popular now, too, because there are more and more people meeting from different parts of the world that you can just kind of say, hey, we're going to go to this convention. I'll see you there. I'll meet up with you there. So things like TwitchCon, like Comic Cons, those things, maybe not Comic Cons, those are getting more regional,
sure.
And everybody's having, but definitely like a TwitchCon, like a PAX,
right.
like any major convention. Gen Con is still kind of huge for like board games. But just to have that moment in there where Bob's like, I can't wait to meet all these people from this burger forum that I'm on.
Do you think we'll ever get invited to a Bob's Burgers convention?
I think there'd have to be a Bob's Burgers convention first, and maybe, that'd be pretty cool.
That would be pretty
I don't
cool.
think we'd be Burger Bob though.
No, it can't be Burger. That's taken.
That's taken. Bob would have to be there as Burger Bob.
That's right.
No, but just having that moment where you could see how excited Bob was to meet these people, and I can relate to that. And I'm not sure if you can, but you definitely have had experiences like that.
Sure. Where you meet strangers over the internet.
But just again, the shout outs to the Brewer Discord. We're all a little bit more centralized. I mean, we're still in Wisconsin, whereas this was the North Atlantic burger lovers. I had to before I get any further, I'm going to stop right there at North Atlantic burger lovers. I had to rewind that because I wanted to make sure that they weren't trying to make some weird like Nambla.
Oh, okay.
So like how it was like North American Marlon Brando lookalikes,
right?
Because the only thing he's missing is the M in there, and I was just kind of half paying attention. I was like North Atlantic burger lovers. Hold on a second, let's see if they were trying to do that. They didn't. Good, and that's good.
Right.
Anyway, so like just. If, for instance, like our Brewer Discord, we're still very centralized in Wisconsin, so we can meet up at a Brewer game, and that's kind of those things. Hey, we finally met them in person, and you can hang out with them outside of the Discord. You can play games and do whatever else you want to do. It's just that initial meeting, is going to happen online now because that's just the way interactions are.
Right.
Have you had any other kind of interactions like that where you've met somebody or you've known somebody for a while through internet only?
No.
And then you met at like a convention or something.
No, the Discord would be the first instance of that meeting at a Brewers game or something.
Sure.
My internet presence was never really that big to begin with on forums and chats and whatnot.
You had a small footprint, is what you.
I have a very small internet footprint. So this is the nerdiest, biggest thing that I do is this podcast. Mm-hmm. So to meet people outside of this, or to meet them outside of the Discord, where we just have the Brewers chat, that's as intense as it gets for me.
So I have two instances, technically.
Uh-huh.
One was the one at spring training when I met up with Sam and Celeste. Mm-hmm. Shout outs to our patrons. And I've known, one of them for a long time. Mm-hmm. And, I finally got to meet them there. And the other one I knew for a short while and still met them there. That's not necessarily the same as like the forum here. Mm-hmm. A more similar event happened when I was a senior in high school. Mm-hmm. And I was playing an online game at the time called Dark Age of Camelot. I don't know if you're familiar with that game at all.
No.
Okay. So I was in a guild in that game called the Order of the Obsidian Dragons. Mm-hmm. And the guild leader lived in D.C. And my friend and I were in the same guild, and we were going out to DC for our class trip. So we ended up, heading out there and meeting up with him and a couple other of the guildies who were there.
Right.
Which is a little more similar to this situation. But this was, that was 14 years ago. Like this was very infancy, the very infancy of internet. There were forums and message boards and things. And it's funny that Bob was on a forum, because very few people still use forums as a main source of contact. At least like that. And now it's mostly like question and answer boards and stuff. But
right.
But yeah, so I've had similar scenarios to Bob. So I can understand his excitement to meet these peers of his, because he thinks that everybody here is going to be on the same level. It's great to meet other people who are like me, who enjoy making burgers, who enjoy talking about the restaurants that they have. And unfortunately for Bob, it doesn't go out the way he thought it would.
No, it does not. We find out that Bob has poor internet etiquette.
I mean,
and maybe he's a little rude.
Yeah, I think he, for one, he definitely doesn't understand the internet. And that's probably common for people of his age.
Sure.
Because it is...
But the other guys don't seem to have a problem with it, though.
No, but he's also very technologically illiterate.
Sure.
His technology, as a term I just coined right now, his tech knowledge is centric to restaurant equipment, restaurant things. That's perfectly fine. You can have that niche. I don't know anything about restaurant equipment. I don't know, the first thing between a fryer and I wouldn't know anything about the newer, like the cappuccino machine that they end up getting in season 3. I wouldn't know anything about the ice cream machine, why he got that one. I would just get one. You know?
Right.
So he may know that stuff. But yeah, his internet etiquette is poor at best. But that also kind of goes along with his in-person etiquette. Like he's kind of the same way in person.
Yeah.
It's easier to kind of tell when
he's joking or when he's being serious because of his tone. But it's impossible to tell people's tone on the internet.
It is,
especially when you use all caps to tell somebody not to get your pan rusty in the first place.
Yeah. So there's that. Then there's also So he's, but just the things that he says, you can tell he's kind of illiterate. He doesn't know what LOL meant.
Right. Yes. Laughing out loudly.
So he says, so it's supposed to be laugh out loud, and he goes, it's at the end of the episode, he says laughing on loudly. So he's continuing to laugh on, but louder.
Yes.
Fine. Okay, we'll leave.
Really?
Yeah, we're all grown-ups here.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, Burger Bob. Oh, that jet is right on my back. Oh, that's a lumbar paradise.
I trust your conference is going well otherwise.
I'm not completely dissatisfied.
Hope you like your jacuzzi with extra relish.
And mayo!
LOL. Laugh on loudly. And post.
That's it. I'm calling security.
Good. We're leaving anyway.
Yeah, get a fax machine. I'll go fax yourself.
But yeah, so not knowing that it's laugh out loud, and saying laughing on loudly. And who was he talking to at the time? Was he talking to Beaver Sutherland, or he's talking to?
Okay, and their names are really funny too.
Yes,
he's just Burger Bob, and like in the beginning, where Teddy goes, "Oh, just so you just went with the first idea, huh?" Like as his online handle, where Beaver Sutherland is really funny.
There's Beaver Sutherland. There was Beef Squatch. Not Beef Squatch. There's Beaver Sutherland and Meat Cute.
Meat Cute. Okay, yes, Meat Cute, which is also funny.
I'm sure it was spelled with, and his name said M-E-A-T, like a Meat Cute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thought that was really funny. But yeah, and then there's Beaver Sutherland, and then Just Grillin'.
Right.
That's whatever.
That's better than Burger Bob.
It's better than Burger Bob. It is. It's funny because Linda goes, "We're chilling and just grilling."
Wise, yeah.
So Linda really liked that name. But yeah, it's interesting to see Bob come to that realization that he thinks that nobody likes him because they're sitting in the.
Well, it's not that he thinks no one likes. He realizes that nobody likes him. That's the thing here is he doesn't understand. Like all these people that he chats with online are clearly his friends, right? They have conversations. They solve stories.
He thinks they're his friends, but they're probably not. Right. Because again,
then he realizes there that they all give him a cold shoulder. They don't. Nobody wants to sit with him or be with him or anything like that.
He can't. He cannot tell moods and expressions and feelings online. He cannot see it.
Right.
That's very common among many people, not just Bob.
Right.
But yeah, the example that they give is somebody asked a question about how to get rust off your pans or something, and so he replied in all caps.
Well, what happened? Yeah, how to get rust off your cast iron, pan? And Bob replies all caps, "Don't get it rusty in the first place."
And he meant it as a joke. So Bob was trying to make a joke, like a nudge. Haha, you shouldn't get it rusty in the first place. Two things wrong with that. One, he used all caps.
Right.
And the suggestion from the rest of the people at Nabble.
Nibble. Yeah.
Was
they're giving them etiquette, right?
Yeah, basically,
all caps. Where's your emoticons or smiley faces or just kidding? Something like that.
Sarcasm,
right?
Like your sarcasm emoticons,
right?
And he doesn't know about those things.
No.
Secondly, I don't think it doesn't say, and we can only assume. My guess is he did not follow up with a correct answer to that.
Maybe.
Like, when you do that online and you want to make a joke like that, you should often follow up with the advice that they were seeking, because you are not being constructive in your comment. Then you're just saying, "Don't get it rusty in the first place," and leaving it at that is kind of a dick move. So they could rightfully be upset, but he was just trying to joke around.
Right.
Again, not understanding how the internet works. I can imagine my dad doing that. Like, he's very computer illiterate. He knows how to use the TV after repeated usage of it. Like if he gets into a repetition, he's very good at doing certain things. But like getting on the internet, him trying to do something like that, I've watched him kind of navigate the internet. It's not fun. It's
a little painful.
It's a little painful because he henpecks with his fingers.
Does he log into Alta Vista to then ask to kick him to Google to then ask Google, take me to my email,
and then go to Jeeves?
Yeah.
No, he doesn't do that. He's pretty good at Googling, but it's still just he would never post anything online. It would take him 15 minutes to try to type a phrasing out. But yeah, so yeah, he comes to the realization in the hot tub that nobody likes him. And then Linda's trying to, back him off that ledge. She goes, "No, people like you. The kids like you. Teddy likes you.
I like you.
Teddy likes you."
Yeah.
And then I love this foreshadowing, and maybe it's a little bit of backshadowing too. But then he says, "But my dad hates me." And Linda goes, "Not this again."
Yeah.
And that's great because I know we're going to get into that in one of the holiday episodes coming up.
Yes. But
it's so neat that they just kind of threw that in there. And Linda's heard it, and she's like, "I don't want to hear it again.
Right.
Not this again." Because Linda knows deep down that that his father probably doesn't not like him. It's just that's what his feelings are on the matter, and we'll get to that later, not in this episode. But yeah, I think overall the story of Bob at this convention realizing that he's not as liked as he thought he was, and I think has a kind of a decent payoff, but not a very good redemption. So they're in the hot tub for a while, and they're kind of protesting. They're like, "We want to enjoy our vacation time. We only get 2 vacation. We only get a couple of vacation days a year, and these are it. We're going to enjoy it." So Lynn and Bob are kind of
going to try and find something that they can do that's away from these people who clearly don't want them there. And they said, "Screw it. Let's go to the hot tub. We're going to have a good time."
So then they all get to the hot tub and want to get in, but Bob and Linda refuse them to get in. Out comes the front desk person who they've already had a little quarrel with.
Which is such a small thing.
We can talk to that in joke section.
Right.
So they leave and come back, and they get like these large canisters of Costco Sam's Club style condiments, and they throw them in
the hot tub with all of the burger people.
Mayonnaise and relish is what it was. I don't remember what he said because he tried to make a pun. Let me look it up real quick because I didn't write it down.
Yeah. While you're doing that, I do want to cover kind of what happened at this little getaway. Is that Linda, was just ignoring the way that people were treating Bob because she's just like, "No, don't let it get you down."
That's Linda's, but that's Linda always, and that's so great.
She has Bob's back the entire time, and I think that's fantastic. She's like, "Oh my gosh, look at Bobby, all your friends," and then she goes like, "I'm gonna get shots. Let's do shots. I'm getting shots." She walks out, gets shots. She brings them back, and then Bob's like, "They all gone. They all hate me." He's like, "Well, I paid for 5 shots, so we're taking 5 shots." So then they just take 5 shots together, which is just again a very Linda thing to do, right? She's not letting them She's not letting this moment, ruin her vacation, her and Bob's vacation. Because, Bob wanted to meet with his friends. Linda wanted just to have time away. And Linda is proceeding to have time away. Yeah. May not be under the perfect circumstances, but she's making it work.
Yeah, well, and she says, even if we don't have room service, we don't have a fax machine, and the hotel hates you, at least we can still have a romantic getaway. She's always trying to look and spin something into the positive. And that's Linda. That's always been Linda. And it's great that she continues to do that.
Right.
And she's always got Bob's back, regardless of how Bob is being treated. She's always there as like, just like your kids. She's gonna have your back.
Absolutely.
You can be nice. And
well, and the whole hot tub scene where they just refused to leave, and Linda's like, "No, we're staying in here." And then the other burger people didn't want to get in and share it with them because that would just be too much. And so she's like, "Fine, we're just gonna stay in here then. We'll stay in here, as long as we have to." And then they're like, "Screw it, let's get him. Let's get in. We'll force him out of there." And then Linda gets the pool skimmer and starts.
Bob grabs a chair.
Bob grabs a chair, right? Linda's like, "No, we're not leaving. Make us." So they just kind of bond together over that moment as well.
So Bob says, "I hope you like your jacuzzi with extra relish and mayo." I guess it wasn't as funny as I mean, it's not as funny in retrospect. I laughed at the time, but I thought it was more punny than that. It really isn't.
No.
And as they're on the way out, Linda goes, "Get a fax machine," and the guy goes, "Oh, go fax yourself."
Yeah.
Which is just a good play on "go F yourself."
Right.
Which is always fun. Then they leave the conference and start on their way home after a very short vacation because they realize they don't need to be there. They don't have to be there with all that negativity. They got to have a little bit of fun.
And they got kicked out because they poured mayonnaise and relish in the hot tub.
I think before that they had realized they don't want to be here anymore.
At that point, yeah. You're probably right. When Bob's like, no, because
we're
adults.
Because he goes, "We're leaving anyway."
Right.
I'm calling security. Good, we're leaving anyway.
Right.
I remember that
part. That's true.
But yeah, that kind of finishes up their story because then they're on their way home after a very short time away.
Crap! Jen's in France. What are we gonna do? Gail already said she can't watch the kids because she's fostering a baby chick.
Well, there's got to be someone who can watch the kids.
I'm someone.
Well, we could call your cousin Vanessa.
She's in a cult.
What? People in a cult can't babysit?
I'm not in a cult.
Oh, come on, there's got to be someone we're not thinking of. What about the checker from the grocery store? She said the kids were cute that one time.
Oh, she smells awful.
I think your kids are cute. I'd love to watch your kids.
Teddy, have you ever babysat before?
Nope. I bet I'd be good at it, and I wouldn't charge you guys anything.
I don't.
All right,
I don't
let's hit
think
the friggin' route.
Yeah, they just had the Friday night. There wasn't the 2 nights.
Yeah, that was probably 4. It was probably maybe 6 hours total.
Yeah, right.
At most.
They were gone because they were coming back Saturday, or were they coming back Sunday?
They were coming back Sunday, I think, because Teddy mentions he's the weekend guardian.
Right.
And most conventions will probably be, you check in Friday night,
sure,
and you do Saturday and like Sunday up to Sunday afternoon.
Right. Then you leave early Sunday afternoon.
Yeah. So I think it's just they're just doing a burger meetup. It's just it says a hotel weekend. Mm-hmm. So that just to me means Friday night, Saturday night.
Sure.
And you're back home.
Mm-hmm.
But how did Teddy become the guardian of the weekend, Brian? What happened?
Well, Jen, their babysitter, forgot. Which was really funny. He's like, "Jen, did you forget you're supposed to watch the kids this weekend?" She's like, "Well, I must have because I'm in France with my family."
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, that was really funny. So, Jen bailed, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, we need somebody to watch the kids." And Teddy's like, "I'm somebody. What about your cousin? Now she hates the kids. What about this person? What about?" And then what do they get to? Like, what about that nice check,
first they say
that bag check lady at the supermarket?
So first they say Gail.
Yeah.
But Gail can't do it because she's like fostering a baby chick or something.
Something weird with Gail.
And then it's the cousin Vanessa.
Mm-hmm.
She was in a cult.
Yeah.
And what babysitters can't be in cults?
Yeah.
And then there was the checker from the grocery store, and who said the kids were cute once.
Right. It's like, "Oh, but she smells," was their excuse not to use that person. And then Teddy's like, I'll do it. And they're like, have you ever watched kids before, Teddy? He's like, "No."
He's like, "No, but I like your kids and I'll do it for free."
Yeah.
And Linda's like, "Perfect."
Yeah, and then she was like out the door as soon as he said that. She's like, "Perfect, let's go."
And I mean,
she was gone.
Linda's the Linda character trait / flaw. She's very trusting of people.
Mm-hmm.
So she's very trusting of Teddy regardless. And I mean, they probably have such a large rapport that that she didn't feel awful about that. It's funny that she didn't even mention to the kids though, because the kids find out when Teddy's there.
They come home from school
and he's upstairs.
Teddy's there and like, "Wait, where's Jen?" Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point that nobody alerted the kids.
Nobody told the kids. The kids are just walking home and
sure.
So they must have left around 3:30 then, is my guess.
Well, they're walking home, and this is where kind of the A plot kind of starts a little bit.
The
A subplot maybe is with Joan with Tina seeing the new delivery boy on his moped with his long hair. The new delivery boy for the sandwich place. For which sandwich place?
What is that guy's name?
They said it like 16 times, and I didn't.
Reggie is his
Reggie.
name.
Yes.
I don't know if that's the name of his sandwich place.
Yeah, Reggie's. I think it's Reggie's.
Sure.
And so he gets this new sandwich delivery boy, and that's all she's thinking about now is Jonas and his long hair on his moped, and she immediately has a dream sequence where he invites her on back of the moped, and they drive off, into the sunset kind of thing. So, that's where that starts, and then that basically becomes her goal for the rest of the episode. Is to meet up with him somehow, some way. I'm gonna make this happen. And I like how they did that when they're under the sink, right? Where Teddy's under the sink with the big drain snake, where he's finally bonding with a couple of the kids, with Jean and with Louise, and he's got this big drain snake down there trying to unclog something in the kitchen sink, and Tina's like, "Oh, geez, it's 5:30 or whatever time it was. It's almost time for dinner. We should probably have sandwiches. I'll go get them." So she walks down to Reggie's to go get sandwiches, but the funny thing is she goes down to order sandwiches for delivery. And then Reggie's like, "But you're already here." He's like, "Just make sandwiches, Reggie. What are you making so hard for?"
Got it.
And so then he's like, "Jonas, you got to delivery it." And he's like, "Jonas." So then she walks out.
That's how she learns the name.
Right. So she walks out, and then the guy's like, "Well, if I'm just going to your house, why don't you just ride with me?" And then Tina's like, "Well, what a great idea that I've never thought of before."
Yeah.
And so that's how that came to be, where her plan worked flawlessly. Which,
at least to get the initial meet cute of Jonas. Yeah.
Correct.
So what do you think of Teddy as a babysitter? At least the 6 hours that we got of him as the caretaker. Do you think he did a good job? Do you think he did a bad job? What do you think?
Well, if it wasn't for Tina and her hormones, I think he would have done a great job. So I think it goes down to just a good job.
But do you think he even did a great job despite her hormones? Because this is kind of like some bad Tina vibes in here, where she's just kind of letting her hormones get the better of her.
Yeah.
But otherwise, she's still kind of complete. I mean, she still listens to Teddy a bit, but she just lets her hormones get the better of her. Because
that's true.
Because he said, when she gets caught down in the restaurant. So to go along with you after they dropped off the sandwiches, he's like, "Oh, hey, it's a great place to hang out. I'll play your Mama Melodica." And so then she sneaks down,
which is the best thing ever.
So she sneaks downstairs into the restaurant, and they start making food. And Teddy hears it.
Hey, Teddy, can I play with that blowtorch? I just want to inspect it, learn about it.
Yeah, sure. Here you go. Hold on. You hear that?
Nope.
Sounds like an accordion, but worse.
Nope, in your head.
Nope, it's something downstairs.
Nope, in your head upstairs.
Sorry, folks. Private party.
Yeah, I think we're on the list. Right, Tina?
Yeah. Tina. You're supposed to be the good one.
Somewhere there's a convenience store parking lot worried sick about these teens.
Tina, come on. You put me in a tough spot. I'm sure you're not allowed to have friends down here this late at night.
Dude, with that kind of attitude, you're only gonna raise your blood pressure to unsafe levels.
Don't lecture me about my blood pressure. I'm predisposed to like salty foods. Out! Everybody out of my friend's restaurant.
Oh my God, Teddy, could you embarrass me anymore?
Oh, that's a great question, and the answer is yes.
So anyway, I mean, Teddy deals pretty much with Tina's hormones
the whole time
as best he can, because when he's getting
and she's not even being nice about it either. She's sneaking out and sneaking downstairs and using the ladder to leave the house.
I thought that was really funny.
Which was wow, it did assemble itself in under 30 seconds.
The
box was right.
No, but he goes, it's my weekend house, my weekend rules. And if you don't like it, there's the door that you cannot leave.
Yeah, there's the door that you can't use because you can't leave. Yeah. He just gets really mad at her. Yeah, that's pretty funny.
And he's like, what does he say? My temporary house, my temporary rules.
Yeah.
You don't like it, there's the door that you can't go out.
Yeah.
And then then Tina, of course, goes, "I hate your temporary rules." And, she does go to her room, so she does listen a bit. And then she's like, "I'm going to sneak out to try to meet Jonas." Because, again, her hormones are just getting the better of her.
Right.
The other two kids, though, for Teddy, are just fine. They don't want to do anything. They just want to kind of sit and watch TV. He suggests The Mentalist, which nobody wants to watch.
Yeah, which is really funny. Hey, you guys like watching TV? And like, yeah, okay. Who likes The Mentalist? Show of hands. Who likes The Mentalist? No hands are going up. This is gonna be bad.
Yeah.
Immediately. Oh my gosh, they don't like The Mentalist. What am I gonna do?
He wants to be the kind of babysitter, just like the bed and breakfast. He wants to be the consummate babysitter. He wants them to be engaged. He wants them to be involved. He wants to do stuff.
Yeah.
And all they want to do is sit and, at least Jean and Louise, all they want to do is sit and watch TV. And they are doing that very well. And he tries to get their attention. He's like, you guys need anything? Okay, if not, I'm going to be in the kitchen. I think I noticed your sink wasn't draining properly.
Yep.
So he goes and starts doing housework around the house for Bob and Linda.
which was whatever. He's got to do something.
Yeah. So he gets out his what did he call that? His drain snake or something? Plumber snake.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Gene comes in to get more chips. And he knows
he's like, ooh, like what do we have here? You know?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is a plumber snake. We're gonna go in and we're gonna see what's down here.
And then Louise comes in and goes, hey, where are the chips? And
what have I wandered into? Right? What are we doing?
I'm not gonna sing it, but I love the song that Teddy sings here.
Yes.
Just a little
his little ditty.
Little stereotypically racist, but we won't get into that because that.
I didn't pick up on that.
Okay, because that's it's not racist, but it's a very stereotypical progression of notes when you're thinking of Arab music, Arabian music.
Okay.
So
Gotcha,
it's not racist. It's just very stereotypical, though.
Sure.
And that's fine.
Yeah. But I do like what he said when he's got it down there. He's like, what will we find? Goop? Probably goop.
Yep. And then they get it out after a while. They finally get out this whatever it is. And they start treating it like a member of the family, of course. Gene and Louise love random, smelly, goopy things all over the place.
For some odd reason. And it comes out with this big-haired clog goop thing. And then Tina's like, okay, I'm going out. And Teddy's like, are you sure? Because, it's Friday night. Let's let her hair down. Who wants to bring out the bathroom scale to weigh this thing? Which is so gross. Because it looks huge. It looks absolutely huge.
Yeah. So another fun thing that Teddy does is they make Teddy Brulee, which is again Teddy's tools that he has in his car because of the things he does. He's got this flamethrower in his car, and what does he do? He does
he has a torch, not a flamethrower.
Yeah, well, it's a torch flamethrower. It's
it's not a flamethrower.
It's not a
flamethrower.
Okay, well, it's not a cook's torch.
No, it's not a cook's torch either. This is a legit torch that you'd use for welding, not welding, but
blowtorch.
Blowtorch. Yeah, blowtorch. There you go. That's a good word for it.
I think that's the word I wanted. I think that's what I wanted was blowtorch, not flamethrower.
Yeah, a little different.
So it's
we're very handy people. We know exactly what we're talking about.
So a nice thick layer of chocolate squares on the base. Mm-hmm. So his base is already not.
And the pretzels or crackers.
Pretzels crumbled aside. Top it off with marshmallows. And then you take that big old blowtorch. Creme brulees the hell out of it.
Fries it up. It's Teddy Brulee.
Arson and food together, as Gene says.
He's thrilled. The kids, and now they're getting along. They're really well. And the best part is Louise is like, "Hey, can I see that for scientific purposes?" And Teddy's like, "Absolutely."
She's like, "I'm gonna inspect it,
for scientific
I want to learn."
Purposes. Yeah.
And here you go.
Yeah, he was gonna hand it over until he realized that.
Until he heard the melodica.
Yeah. Yes. What is that? It sounds like an accordion, but worse.
Yeah.
Which is great because melodicas are really awful. Really, really awful.
So that kind of leads back into Tina being not where she's supposed to be, and he's acting like the guardian, telling her to go upstairs. To not be in the restaurant. She storms off into the bedroom, and then he tells basically everybody goes to sleep.
Right.
So Bob and Linda check in. Bob says everything's complicated, and Teddy says it's also complicated with them.
Right.
And Bob goes, "No, Teddy, it can't be complicated with my kids. I can be complicated. You can't." So he just wants to check on the kids, make sure they're okay. They're all sleeping until he gets to Tina's room. Teddy freaks out, tries to cover for it, which I think is really funny. And then they have to go find where Tina ran off to. And they think it was because of Jonas. So their first stop is obviously Reggie's house.
Yes.
And he says that they used to hang out there with...
Yeah, Reggie's going to lead to Jonas. Jonas is going to lead to Tina.
So they first start to Reggie. Reggie's like, yeah, they used to hang out at my gazebo. But then it rains one night, there's one little leak.
Yeah.
And then they decide it's too good for them. Yeah. Or it's not good enough. And then they leave. And now they hang out at the pier, at the lake.
Right.
At the lighthouse.
The fun part, though, is the kids are like, ooh, let's see this gazebo. Yeah, I want to see the gazebo that Salami built. And then Teddy's like, no, we don't have time. And then they walk off screen, and then they come back, and maybe we've got a little time to check out this gazebo.
I want to see the gazebo, too.
Right, yeah, and they wouldn't show us, though. It was a little sad.
Yeah, it just makes me wanting more of that
gazebo. More awesome gazebo from Reggie.
Then they get down to the beach, and Tina's already there and has already gotten in trouble. So she gets down there and brings burgers, but not from her restaurant because she couldn't figure out how to turn the grill on. And they're playing music, obviously Jonas is just using Tina for something. But we don't really know what. And then they get the idea, let's go break into the lighthouse. So they hoist Tina up into this open window, and a park ranger comes and finds them all. All the kids disperse except for Tina, who's stuck in the lighthouse.
Right.
And she's going to go to jail. Or, as he says, ranger jail, which is the same. They got a foosball, which makes it different. So Teddy gets there, and... this is another great fun Teddy scene. He gives this really good speech about how she shouldn't get in trouble. Like he basically says that she's full of heart and full of puberty, and but her heart's in the right place, and she's just a mixed up kid. She didn't do the right thing tonight, but she has done the right thing in the past.
It sounds very parental.
It is. Yeah, Teddy does a fantastic job explaining the situation to Ranger Matthew Danko. What a pretty name.
Yeah, I love it. Matthew Danko. That's a pretty name. Trying his best to butter up the cop.
Yeah.
Or the ranger, I should say.
But Tina asks, is she going to... Oh, no, because Teddy says... I think it's Teddy or Tina. They say, I don't want to spend the night in Teen Ranger jail.
Yeah,
goes,
it's not Teen Ranger jail. It's just Ranger jail. Yeah, he's very offensive. Or
no, it's Teddy.
Very sensitive.
It is Teddy, because Teddy goes, if anybody should be in Teen Ranger jail tonight, it should be me.
Right.
Because I failed as the babysitter. Again, taking great ownership of the situation. But the Ranger's like, fine, I'll let you go, but you got to sign this form. And this, again, in true Teddy fashion, he doesn't know what the heck to do with this form.
Right. Where's this form? Right here? No, just on the line. So, anywhere in the form.
Anywhere. He just gets... he's so smart and yet so dumb at certain times, it boggles me.
Yeah. I do like the whole lighthouse scene. And every time we go to Jonas and his friends, we have Jonas really trying to more impress his friends so they can continue to hang out, and he wants to play his melodica. Tina wants him to play the melodica, but his friends are really like, okay, are you done with this thing? You can be done with this melodica, right? So when they meet up at the lighthouse, she brings burgers, and that's hilarious. And Tina goes, hey, I brought burgers, but not from my restaurant because I couldn't find the key. Yep. So she went out and purchased burgers from some other place, which is so sad.
Yeah, but again, she was following her puberty.
Yeah.
Her heart and her puberty.
Was. And she goes, oh, I'll just sit right here, and hey, that melodica's not going to play itself. And she's like, wow, it's almost like music. So they just keep ripping on this kid for playing the melodica, which I really think is funny. So they go into the lighthouse to try and make shadow puppets to amuse the ships at sea. And they manage, and they manage to boost Tina up into a window, but at that point the Ranger comes in and they all scatter, and Tina's left inside the lighthouse. So the Ranger lets her out, and she just walks out. Oh, this isn't my house, which was really funny. I thought, thinking that she could get away with such a simple excuse.
And she goes, I don't know how to make camp puppets. Everybody knows how to make a dog.
And then he shows her how to make the dog, which was really funny. Which is really funny.
So they're at the beach. They get a phone call. Ted, Bob and Linda are coming home. Teddy's like, all right. And he puts the phone on mute and says, all right, we got 15 minutes. We can get home, pretend to go to sleep, and act like nothing happened. And then Bob goes, Teddy,
we just heard everything you said. No, you didn't. I just put the phone on mute. No, you didn't.
I definitely tried to push the button. I love how he says that. I definitely tried to push the button.
Right.
So they all kind of meet up at the end there, and Tina calls him Uncle Teddy at the end, and that ends into the credits, which is it's a weird song, but it's got melodica that's actually playing properly.
Right.
And it's the little goop baby dancing with the kids. Speaking of episode fun bits, that was the credits. Let's get the beginning stuff.
Sure.
Let's get those out of the way.
Which I do want to talk to you about the beginning stuff, but but do your thing.
So the first thing was Carl's pre-owned indoor outhouses.
Pre-owned, yes.
By the way, secondary sign says outhouse. It was just said open like an outhouse. And then the pest control was the Verminate Vacation Exterminators, which was just a phrase on permanent vacation,
right?
Which is another play on word for death, so it's kind of fitting. And then the burger of the day is it's only sourdough burger, but I like it. And apparently that's a play on the Rolling Stones songs. It's only rock and roll, but I like it. I'm not a big Rolling Stones guy, so I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know that song.
That is a song that they play. I can vouch for that.
I know it's a song they play. I've just never heard it. I didn't say it wasn't a song of theirs. I can't vouch.
So to the pre-owned indoor outhouses, which Keegan-Michael Key's character purchases, which I think is funny.
I own one of those.
I own one of those. I just bought one of those. We actually see that throughout the entire episode that business is still in business. It has not closed down.
It's one of the few times.
Has it ever happened before, where that store next door is still open?
Yeah, at the very first season, the Raccoon Sanctuary, that was open at the end of the episode.
It was okay
because he talks about it. He says, I've been, because he goes, I rent space to a raccoon sanctuary, and he goes, I've got to talk about that.
Yeah.
So that one
this is one of the rare times where the business in the beginning of the credits is still there during the episode.
And I know that this season 9,
and they reference it too, which is the other big thing.
So in this newest season, what are we on? Season 9 right now.
Hey, no spoilers.
Oh, it's fine. So in this current season, which is season 9, I can't remember the numbers that well. The Halloween episode, the guy's next door is still open. Because it actually says in one night, but it is actually open.
Okay.
When it's there. That's all I'm saying. I wasn't going to give any other spoilers away for that episode.
Hey, Beaver Sutherland, it's me, Burger Bob.
So where's your oversized luggage?
What? What are you talking about?
Because you must have needed the world's biggest suitcase to lug your gigantic balls here.
Beaver, I'm totally lost here.
I'm saying it took big balls to show up at this conference. Big balls!
Big balls? I don't have those. Why wouldn't I show up here?
Maybe because all your posts are either crapping on us amateurs or you're bragging about your flashy restaurant.
Well, that's crazy. I don't do that.
I asked you how to get rust off a cast iron skillet, and you say, don't let it get rusty in the first place. All caps.
Oh, what a jerk.
I was just kidding around.
Then why didn't you write LOL or JK or using emoticon?
Oh, I don't know how to use those things.
So come on.
Trust me, my restaurant isn't flashy. We've got a funeral home on one side of us, and I think on the other side is a guy that sells indoor outhouses.
I bought one of those.
Oh. Why?
Because it's cheaper than... Never mind. Let's get out of here before Burger Bob yells at us with his caps lock key.
Wait,
Blocked.
Do you have anything else?
Do I have anything else? I don't. I mean, I just kind of want to cover, like, how funny the melodica... Oh, and then we get closing credits. We get a little melodica song. You talked about that?
Yep.
See, I'm reading my notes. This is why I have to pay attention a little bit more. I love Tina and her off just going to do her own thing, and how much they make fun of the melodica. And even at the end, Tina's like, as long as you and I can go and no melodica, you know, because she's tired of hearing it.
She just likes jokes.
Yeah.
She doesn't. Yeah.
I like that Linda has, you know, Bob's back throughout like the entire time. She's like, don't let him get you down. We're on vacation. You know, even though maybe be a little bit supportive, like, hey, I'm sorry. You know, I was kind of waiting to hear that a little bit. Like, oh, I'm sorry, your online friends don't like you. Let's get drunk. You know, like that one little line of dialogue would have made me love Linda even more. But I loved this episode. I thought it was a lot of fun, and I think we're ready for some numbers. I got
a couple of things I just want to pull up real quick.
Okay.
That kind of stuck out to me. So we mentioned Teddy's therapist for the second time.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he's got a lot to talk about.
I got to talk about in therapy this week. Did you lose your temper, Teddy? Yes, I did lose my temper. I'm really sad about that.
He throws the kid's moped into the ocean.
Yeah,
that was at
least onto the rocks. It wasn't in the ocean. It was on the rocks.
He was in the water.
Yeah, but
Jonas was in the water.
Yeah, but it was mostly But again, regardless, he threw it in there.
Yeah, Jonas was in the water when Bob and Linda rolled up.
So that's the first time since Crawl Space.
Mm-hmm.
And
what's the first time since Crawl Space?
That we saw Teddy's therapist. That we've heard of Teddy's therapist, Dr. Marjorie.
Mm-hmm.
Got a lot to talk about therapy this week. So according to this, Teddy uses parts of the full bar of a Holly Trolley's chocolate bar to make his Teddy Brulee, and the Holly Trolleys were the full bars from Full Bar episode.
Oh, nice.
So that's just again kind of world building in the episode that we're keeping with the same things. But yeah, I mean, otherwise, yeah. Again, Teddy true to form with his form, not being able to sign a form, just kind of like in the Sacred Cow episode, he was trying to sign a release, couldn't do it. And then apparently the script cover showed Teddy knocking on a door, like the movie Uncle Buck.
Oh, fun. Okay, the script cover.
Yeah, let me see if I can find.
Yeah, I wish we could get our hands on one of those script covers. They're so fun, or just like a collection of them. Yeah, that'd be pretty great.
Where did it go?
Well, you don't have to show me.
That's fine.
No one else is going to be able to see it.
Yeah, but I can link it at least.
Sure.
But yeah, it's Uncle Buck.
Mm-hmm. But it's Uncle
Teddy, that's kind of nice. I don't got anything else. I don't have anything else. I ain't got nothing else.
I got nothing. Okay. So we could probably go and do the numbers.
We could.
Okay. So we'll be back after the break.
Tina!
Hi, Teddy.
Oh, you know this girl? Yes, I do. I'm her weekend guardian. Well, I caught her trespassing in the lighthouse. You gotta let her go, officer. I could do that, or I could let her spend the night behind bars. No. Listen, Ranger Danko. Is it Ranger Danko? What's your first name? Matthew. Matthew Danko. That's a pretty name. Look, I've only been an uncle for a day. I guess I couldn't handle the job. If anyone should spend the night in Teen Ranger jail, it should be me.
It's not Teen Ranger jail, it's just Ranger jail.
Look, maybe she didn't do the right thing tonight, but she's got heart, this one, and she follows it. She's just a mixed-up kid who's going through a ton of puberty right now. Am I right, Dina?
Yes.
And then some.
Well, it's not that simple. There's a form involved. 2 signatures and an initial. A sign here.
Okay.
And again here.
Right.
And an initial here.
Right. Okay, so just anywhere?
No, where it says guardian.
So at the bottom?
No, on the line.
So just anywhere on the form, just right at the bottom?
Anywhere.
No.
Okay, just never mind. Forget it.
All right, I got those numbers tabulated.
All right.
They have been counted abacus style.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm ready to go. You got 2 minutes?
I got 2 minutes.
Sweet. On your marks. Because I go. So we got the meta jokes, which we just talked about them. I'm not going to recap them. I gave those a 9.
Hey, me too.
Really? And I think we gave it probably for the same reason.
Yeah.
They actually stuck through with the actual indoor...
The store.
Okay,
first of all, it's
outhouses.
used indoor outhouses, which is really bizarre. And also, because wasn't the reason it's cheaper than a toilet?
Well, he didn't say. They didn't give a reason, which was great. He's like, he didn't justify. He didn't have to justify it to Bob. It doesn't matter why I have one. I just have one.
Right.
And then there actually was a burger of the day. And then the Verminant Vacation Exterminator was great because it's just a play on death.
Yeah.
Which you wanted in an
so
Exterminator.
Really good and bonus points because we got to see that store throughout the entire episode.
Story, I gave an 8. I thought it was a very good story, but again, I might be a little biased because it's a Teddy story. But even if you were to replace Teddy with any character who's been given the same kind of backstory as Teddy, it would still be a good episode.
Right.
If there was another character just like Teddy but not Teddy, I would still give it an 8 because the overall story is still very good.
I give the story a 7. I think anything with Teddy in it is great. We get a lot more Teddy than we have previously. Like that, we got a lot more world building. We got Jonas. We get Tina going after Jonas, going outside and kind of being the bad, being bad girl, bad Tina again, which is always fun.
Humor is 9 for me. Again, another big 9 for me. I laughed a lot. I love Teddy's humor. I love the other kind of humor in the episode. I laughed a lot. There was not a lot of super I am gonna pass out from laughing moments, but there was a lot of consistent laughter, and it just made me happy to watch the episode. So I got a 9.
I gave it an 8. I just love the part. It's like, let's get the bathroom scale and weigh this thing. He pulls out this goop from the kitchen sink.
And then other, I gave a 7. We had Keegan-Michael Key. We had a bunch of good voices in this episode, but otherwise, it was just the stuff was there. It was decent.
I gave the other an 8 because somebody had to play the melodica that poorly.
That's true.
And that's why I gave it an 8 because somebody had to play the melodica, and I think that's really funny. That's our 2 minutes. But that was my main reasoning. I think that was really funny.
So I gave it an 8.4. You gave it a 7.8, which puts it at an 8.1 overall. I think that's our largest discrepancy in a while.
Yeah.
And it's definitely the largest discrepancy between my high and your low.
Sure.
As opposed to yours being higher than mine and mine being low.
So momentous on all fronts over here.
But yeah, that just kind of puts it firmly in one of the better episodes of the season.
Yeah, for sure.
It's definitely number 3, tied for 3.
Okay.
Tied for 4th with last week's Muzzletino.
Okay.
Which again is really funny because of the difference in scores. It's my number 1 episode, which makes it your 7th or 8th episode. And
sure.
Again, that's why we do the numbers and stuff. But I always like Teddy. Teddy episodes, especially Teddy heavy episodes, are going to give me a bias. I cannot be a good critic. I could never be. There is enough bias within me that I could try to push that aside if I was getting if I was going to be like an official critic. But I'm not. I'm a Bob's Burgers fan first and foremost. I'm a Teddy fan secondly, and Teddy heavy episodes are great. I love them all, and I will watch them all repeatedly. That is one episode that will never leave. I will never randomize beyond. If I get it randomly when I'm watching at night, it stays on.
Yeah, it's very true. We all know that you love Teddy. What do we got coming up next week?
So next week, saddle up, partners. We're going on a train ride.
Ooh.
It's the Kids Rob a Train.
Nice.
Which is a Rudy episode. Again, I love Rudy. He's my second favorite. This is going to be great. Back-to-back episodes of people whom I appreciate.
Very nice.
Do you remember the Kids Rob a Train at all?
I do remember Kids Rob a Train. I think it's fantastic, and I hope it holds up as well as it did, in my memory.
Yes, so. That's the things that I've noticed with episodes. Is I often sell them short. Not in my own head, but in like when we're talking about the podcast, I love this episode. And then we watch it, and it was okay.
Right.
And so I hype myself up too much, which I was trying not to do with Uncle Teddy, knowing how much I love Uncle Teddy. And I think it lived up to my expectations.
Yeah, it was. It was a quality episode.
I think on my original rating for Uncle Teddy, I gave it an 8 or a 9 on. I gave it an 8 on IMDb.
Yes, this is really close to where you have it. Really close to where I have it too. Actually, yeah. So that's gonna do it for us tonight. We do want today, wherever you're listening to it. We're recording at night. If you haven't figured that out. Want to say thanks to everybody. Yeah, right. Want to say thanks to everybody for listening. You can find us on Instagram at Burgers Fries Pod. You can find us on Twitter at the same handle. You can find us on Gmail, burgersfriespod@gmail.com. If you need to get a hold of us, find us on Patreon. Burgers and Fries on Patreon. If you like
fun
us,
stuff. There's fun stuff on Patreon.
Prove to us how much you like us, and maybe we get a cup of coffee. With your donation instead of you out and going out and getting that cup of coffee.
Yeah, so we've got some special episodes from older podcasts that we've done.
Yeah, a lot of interviews with Ed Asner. Yeah, you heard me right. We interviewed Ed Asner at one point.
Yeah, that was almost a year ago now.
That was a long time ago. Yeah.
Almost a year ago now.
We really enjoyed that interview. So if you liked our last interview with Mario Deanna, one of the directors of Bob's Burgers, maybe you'll enjoy our Ed Asner interview, which is on our Patreon for you guys to check out. So again, I want to thank everybody for listening. We are the Burgers and Fries podcast. I'm Brian.
I'm Ryan. Don't you tell me no lies.
Burgers and fries.